Welcome back to the next video in the Agents Together series on how HR departments can make a massive difference to the performance of an estate agency. Today I'm joined by Laura Courtney, who is boss HR people person at Miles and Bar, who are a 12-branch estate agency chain in the sunny Garden County of England, of Kent. Laura, question. Why do estate agents judge their staff by KPIs alone? Talk to me.
I don't think it's so much why, it's should they for me? And I think absolutely not. So what we've done as a business over the last couple of years is really bring equal emphasis around our colleagues' behaviours. So what I mean by, sorry, were you going to update? So what I mean by that is you could have a great estate agent smashing 200% of their listings target or their net activity target, but they're an absolute arse to have in the team. They're not great to be around. They're quite selfish, self-centered, or their customer experience could be really questionable. So what we've done as a business is introduce Miles and Bar behaviours. So we've got our values and we've got a set of behaviours that sit alongside that. And as part of our introduction around performance cycles and measuring performance, we've come up with a grid. It's nothing new. People that have worked within HR or a lot of sort of big businesses will recognise something called the 9-box grid. It's actually a little bit dated and a lot of businesses have moved beyond that now. However, I thought it's a good place to start because it is a shift ultimately in sort of how we were managing and rewarding and recognising people. So early on in my time within the business, I was going along to these quarterly awards and annual awards, and I'm watching these people go up and get medal and trophy after trophy for their performance. However, as I was setting up the people ops department at that time, I was starting to really drill down into some of the data, absence data, complaints, some of the people issues that had sort of been bubbling along under the surface. And what I noticed was that actually a couple of these guys that we're kind of putting up on pedestals or we're celebrating aren't necessarily displaying the behaviours that we would want within our business that would really support the culture that we're trying to build. And I just kind of raised that to the directors to say, you know.
So the golden boys and girls who were smashing it out the park with smashing their listings were right ship's anchors, technical term. I mean, that must have been hard news for the directors to say that they're golden boys and girls.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't loads of them. I'm probably making papers, but the difference was we hadn't had that data before, whereas I am very data driven, and that's what I was using to sort of highlight where we had opportunities to be better.
So what do you, I mean, did you have any instance where you had to let people go?
What we did was when we introduced our performance management processes, we made it very clear that actually within our business to be successful, yes, we want to support you and help you to be great estate agents, but this is how you need to behave within our business. So there were instances where it was more around bringing people up to speed and getting them on board with the type of culture we were trying to build and what that needed to look like.
I mean, estate agency very much is rewarded on numbers. Did you have to change your commission structure to allow for the fact is that they were being measured on how nice they were, all the cuddly stuff?
No, not at all. Our commission structure didn't necessarily change, but what did happen was we were having very open, honest conversations with people to say, this is how we need you to behave, or this is how we're going to work as a team, or this is how we're going to treat our clients, and why it was important.
But then if they're being beaten up on performance, you know, you can't have it both ways, can you? Or can you? You know, the difference between the performance and behaviours. I mean, a estate agency is all about performance. How can you, if you're not how are you rewarding great behaviour? Because it does sound a bit fluffy, this, if you don't mind me saying, you know, the be nice to everyone and all that.
No, it's much more than that. It's so within our performance management system, we would be able to set objectives around behaviour. So yes, we want you to.
What does that actually look like? That does sound all a bit HRy. Objectives around. What does this actually mean? Give me some real hard stuff that the boys and girls out there can actually learn and implement.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I said, we launched behaviours. So we launched Challenge Myself to Grow. Um, it's just one example. Innovate and Inspire. So yes, I agree with you. They
Okay,
could sound like
what does all this
buzzwords.
mean? These are again, these are buzzwords. What does this actually? If I was a manager or a valuer, what is my area manager doing with all this stuff that you're mentioning?
So I think it's the flip of the example I gave you at the beginning of someone that's great at performance, but actually they leave a trail of destruction behind them very often, or they might be the reason why we don't win listings because of their persona or the way they've treated those clients. The integrity isn't there. So what this was doing was really helping to form our culture change, which we were keen to do within our business.
And who's having that conversation? You as HR or the area manager?
No, the managers. So we launched it across our whole business to say this is our behaviours and this is how we want to operate as a business. Our strapline is valuing people, not just property. So that means people within your team to feel valued, but also our clients to feel valued.
How did you get the area managers on board? Because that really must be the key here.
Yeah, I think to start with, it was to share that data to say, look, you've got a great business, you're passionate about your business, you're passionate about the people that work within it. We've got people that need to understand what good looks like. And from a management point of view, it's very difficult to have those sort of conversations when it's just a gut feel or I don't like the way you've just spoken to your colleague. So by setting out a standard, a minimum standard, it's far easier as a manager to manage against those standards and be able to say, it's not that I don't like it, it's as a business we've agreed this isn't how we're going to operate.
I mean, was there any level of management between the MD and the branch manager?
Yes, we had a board of directors. We had directors that were kind of like sales managers.
And how many branches did those sales managers look after?
It's changed over the 5 years,
Okay, to start with.
To start with, they had three kind of directors that looked after pockets of 4 branches each, 3 to 4 branches.
That surely must have been the key, getting them on board. Because it's all very good, the powers that be say, the captain of the ship with the levers. But if those aren't buying in, then the branch managers aren't going to get buy-in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how did you get their buy-in?
I think initially was, as I said, shared the data and put the solution in front of them, which was, look, this is a set of behaviours we can work towards. This is how we'll build the capability of managers to manage against those.
Have you still got the same sales managers as you did then?
Since I set the team up, we've had a management buyout. So our board of directors, the newer directors, have actually taken over the company. But what's been lovely with that is they've absolutely been part of the journey all along and were real advocates for what we were trying to achieve.
And if I had one of these sales managers on the sofa now, what would they say by saying you got this airy-fairy HR woman coming in talking about the behaviours are just as important as performance?
I think firstly, where I'm slightly different from a HR tradition, what people's assumption is, I have been a sales manager myself, majority of my career, obviously within banking as opposed to estate agencies. So what that's meant is I do have a very commercial sort of outlook. And when I'm putting proposals or coming up with ideas or working with teams to find solutions, they will always have a commercial benefit. And ultimately it was reducing cost, improving improving staff retention, improving customer experience, which has all had an impact on the bottom line.
Do you think this is a big thing that HR departments could learn from what you're saying, is that when they are approaching the sales managers and area managers, is that they should go in look at it from the point of view of the sales manager with a commercial eye as well, and not being Happy Valley?
Yeah, absolutely. I get really insulted, I suppose, when people say about HR and fluffing, it's all the buzzwords, because I am, as I said already, very commercially minded. And I think, if you're looking to do something like this within your business, you've got to speak the language. And ultimately, we're there to be successful. We're there to make money, to make efficiencies, to save costs, manage performance.
So really, sorry to jump in,
That's all right.
You are actually agreeing with me that HR departments need to be more commercially minded and be aware and look at it through the point of view from the sales department. And if they do that, they're more likely to get through the changes, which will make a benefit to both the team, but also the business as well.
Absolutely. It's how you create the buy-in. Future director.
Thank you for your time today. This is one of 7 videos that we have done in the Agents Together series, where we've been talking about how HR can have a magnificent impact on your estate and letting agency. Thank you for your time today, Laura.
Thank you.